Radio Hereford FC, the only station with full match commentaries of the Bulls. Every game, every week.
Hello again, and welcome to We're Going Down the Pub with me, Frank Williams, and as usual, a guest contributor, but he's not really a guest, he's a regular, for the 28th time, Mr. Simon Wright, and we're going to be talking about Taunton, which both of us managed to visit on our way back from Bideford.
Yes, it's great minds thinking alike.
It was interesting really, because we were experimenting between Bideford and Taunton, which is in Keith's car, 10 minutes, No, we were experimenting actually. He wanted to hear, he's got a radio, a Bluetooth radio. I think it's the one actually that he's stripped out of the stripped out of his Clio, when
that's half the value gone with it.
But it's got a USB port as well. It's got an audio port, but it's also he said, how do you set it up for USB? I said, I said, I'll use my phone. We'll put Radio Hereford FC on, because we updated the playlist at the weekend, put some of my choices on just for a few days. I said, okay, I'll do it, I'll link it through, we'll see. And my phone was reading great signal, 4G, but he was going so quick, we were outrunning the 4G signal, and it was buffering in and out and in and out and in and out, because he was actually going faster than 4G, I think, at the point.
That's the speeding light.
Exactly. Well, we were going past low-flying aircraft on our way up the road, but an interesting journey. But we called in at Taunton, as did you. We beat you to it.
By a couple of hours, yes. Well, we must also not forget that David Mortab was our first person to go there. He's our guest contributor. But, since then, we've pretty much all had a look, and it was almost a queue yesterday coming back from Devon, but there you go.
Absolutely, yeah. Right, a bit of history then.
Yeah, a bit of club stuff, really. Taunton have never played any higher than Step 4, which surprised me a bit. I thought with the setup they got, they would have done, but there you go. They have previously won the FA Vars, and were previously managed by our very own Peter Beadle. They are the third best supported club in the division, with an average of 372.
Now that actually sounds not bad.
It doesn't, does it?
But Taunton's the same size as Hereford, for heaven's sake. 60,000 people, and it's a town centre club again. Yeah. So, they're getting gates 10% the size of a Hereford sometimes, with a town population of the same. Yeah. So, but
we know what the problem is, don't we?
Egg chasing, isn't it?
It's another southwest town with egg chasing perversions, And you know what's coming next, though, Frank, don't you? The local rugger team, the Titans, and they're at home on the same day.
Again. Who do you blame? Do you blame the FA? Do you blame the Southern League, or do you actually blame the rugby authorities?
I always blame the rugby authorities just because they're rugby, But it's
pity, it's pity, really, because this rugby club is nowhere near the football club geographically, so we can't even use their car park.
No. I would imagine that could turn heads because they're quite a serious club, aren't they? But,
because there's not a lot of car parking around the ground, is there? Not a great. There's a big car park, a largish car park at the back, but
there are alternatives.
We'll come to that.
We'll come to that, won't we? Yeah. A little bit on the Taunton squad. They're obviously a very successful and tight-knit squad. Mm-hmm. 7 of them went through the academy's professional clubs. Sadly, a few broken dreams along the way there. A lot of ex-Truro and a lot of Western Supermare.
Well, the Truro and the Western Supermare ones, because although they're southwest clubs, because they've gone up Truro and Western Supermare play highly, there's a lot of travelling involved. Yeah. And they just want to stay local. It's what
Yeah, makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. And also, they may not be good enough. That's another reason.
That's another very good factor, yeah. Okay, themes that we always cover, keeping it in the family. Yeah. They've got the Irish brothers, they've got the goalkeeper and defender, both the Irish.
You mean Irish by name?
The surname, yes.
Right,
By the
okay,
surname.
yeah.
I'm sure everybody remembers the Taunton goalkeeper from the game in January.
Yes, indeed.
Indeed. The Jamie count, 0.
Fatal.
Fatal, yeah.
Fatal.
How on earth are they going to be successful if they haven't got any Jamies in their team? But it's all very, very strange, you know. And there's always one player who's got an unusual job.
Yeah.
Now this midfield Ed, as in Edward,
Yeah.
Edward Palmer, he's a barber. But he's not a head barber. Just a barber. Does that make sense?
No, not at all. You're going to have to explain that one, mate.
Ed Palmer, okay?
Oh.
Ed Palmer, not an Ed Barber.
Palmer. Oh,
yeah.
God. I got it now.
Yeah, it's not a head Palmer.
How did you
just one of the
stumble
two.
across that one?
A lot of bloody work, mate.
Yeah, right, okay.
That's the best I can come up with. You've seen the rest,
Yeah.
right? Maybe not.
Right.
As we know, they score one heck of a lot of goals.
They do.
They've got a game tomorrow night, but even before that, they've got 99 league goals. A whole load of goal scorers in their ranks, including Ross Staley,
Yeah.
who's already into double figures, and you think, my word, would you really that good?
Yeah.
As we know, they got 9 at Wantage and put 10 past Larkhall. I mean, we used to score like that,
Yes,
didn't we?
but the thing is, it's all right scoring your 5s and 9s and 10s and whatever they do. They've also lost 5, and you know, at the end of the day, you know, Alvechurch scored a lot of goals last season. They were putting a lot more. We were getting our 2s and 3s, and they're getting their 4s, 5s, and 6s. At the end of the day, it's getting the points. It's not how many goals you score; it's getting the points. And if you're going to go through and you know, go score a lot of goals, if you're then going to lose 5 matches, which they did do early to mid-season, early doors, then you know, you're going to be playing catch-up. Part of that is because of the success of their cup runs,
Yes.
but you've also then got to win your games in hand. But they'd lost those games in hand before they started because they were 5 defeats behind us.
They had
Before they started
they had a
trying to
poor
catch
start.
up.
Yeah, they had a
exactly.
poor start,
So you
yeah.
know, it's not all.
No. Okay.
It's all about scoring lots of goals. You've got to win every
Enough goals.
every game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, that's put me straight on that one then.
Well, no, it's just a point. You know, it's not.
It's another perspective.
I'm sure
I
Pete
get there.
Beadle would take a 2-1 every week to a 9-0 every week with a defeat every 2 months in it, wouldn't he? Because his points, what the points make? Points make prizes.
It's getting probably close to Tony Pulle's philosophy here, mate, but
No, it's Bruce Forsyth actually.
this one goal thing will do. But
Right,
anyway.
the Viridor.
Yeah, the Viridor.
Their colours are claret and blue.
Yes,
And the ground is claret and
Oh,
blue.
I
If
thought
you
yours is-
remember, the Tiverton colours are yellow, and
Yeah.
their ground was yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a branding here as well. We have a claret and blue ground, which will go down
Oh.
really well with you, I suppose.
I was nauseous just going into the car park, you know.
Well, that's right.
It's east of the town centre. It's next to the YMCA. So, if you want to burst into song, feel free.
Well, that's right. If you dress up as a red Indian or a
Yes, and a fire station
fire
too.
station
So there you
chief.
go.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
We could probably get it. Barney McGrew.
Barney McGrew, that's it.
Up at
Cuthbert
Dibble
Dibble
and
Grub.
Grub.
There
Yeah,
you
yeah,
go.
yeah. Well, I was thinking of the village people more with the YMCA,
Yeah.
with the Indian chief. And was there a fire officer in that? There was certainly a policeman.
Definitely
Certainly a policeman. Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, it doesn't look like the best part of town, judging by the bits I explored.
No, careful where you park your car.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right. That's
exactly.
right.
You might come back afterwards and find it. Well, you know, if, in the old days you used to go by horse. That would be up on bricks the following day around there. No, it's
And did you notice the sheer volume of signage?
yes, there
Around
is
the
a
ground.
lot of signs.
I think groundhoppers will be having
Yeah.
a wet dream, so you know when they go there. My word. And the one that stood out for me,
Absolutely.
you probably saw it as well.
I
yes.
didn't photograph it,
Yeah.
but it's wonderful.
Welcome to the Viridor Stadium. Viridor transforming waste. And what a great message that is to. I'm not sure whether it's aimed at their players or their supporters transforming waste, but you know, let's leave our audience to work that
It
one out for
might be aimed
themselves.
at us. You never know.
It could be, couldn't it?
It is a decent ground. Though.
It's one of the better ones.
Kids and I walked all around it, and it is there is cover on every
There's
side.
some
both
cover
ends,
on
yeah.
every side,
There is,
isn't
but
We're not going to get to appreciate much of it.
no,
are
we're
we?
not, because we're being allocated standing only. Apart from, you know, if you're disabled, you might be able to get. And, you know, they've got little areas for wheelchairs.
Yes.
Thing, but those aren't necessarily undercover. But the stand that goes almost all the way down one side
Yep.
is really interesting because there aren't really that many seats in it.
No, it's only 300, isn't it?
Yeah, in total, and yet it takes all of one side.
Very big seats.
But the ends, the end that we're being given old 600, and then there's a corner section which is not covered, which goes round onto the clubhouse side, because that can be segregated all the way around. If you imagine a corner and part of the next side, that's another 150.
Well,
so they're saying 600 with a possibility of going to 750, and they don't intend to sell tickets at Taunton to Hereford supporters. So if you're thinking of that, don't know how you're going to get round it. I think they'll probably go for asking for proof of residency or something when you buy a ticket.
Well, that's
and whatever. And I think they're expecting Hereford to sell the tickets, but we'll know all about that in due course.
Let them
but
discuss that one.
just remember, it's probably going to be a maximum of 750.
Okay, I mean,
and it could be the deciding weekend.
It could be. I kind of hope it won't be, because it's an additional pressure we don't need, really.
Yes, it is,
I could just imagine Jamie Howard on Facebook doing one of his lovely little posters saying, "Into the Viridor rode our gallant 600." That sounded like. I thought that one. We're not getting any seats, which is unfortunate for our elder supporters. Unfortunately, we would imagine that admission would probably be the normal one price, which is £8 adults, £5 for old farts, £3 for ages 14 to 18, and free for under that. But of course, the issue is not how much they are; it's getting hold of them, isn't it?
Yeah. Now you've got a couple of questions.
Well, two questions. The obvious one is around getting said tickets, and the other question that popped into my head: are Radio Hereford FC going to make use of that fine, wobbly-looking gantry over one of those stand roofs?
Saw that. We already know the answer. No. We are going to be situated outside our area. We are going to be at the far end of that stand down one side, very near to a corner flag.
Right.
So we're going to be at the corner flag at the top end of the ground by the turnstiles. They'll give us a table and some chairs there before the seats start. The view is all right, but the view is dead opposite one goal, and the other goal is away. So we're going to provide Keith with the binoculars really to see the far end of the ground.
Oh well.
Yeah, but
that sounds like a job for Will Cheshire to climb that TV country.
I did speak to Keith. I said, all right. He said, I've been in worse. So I've done worse. That's all right. We'll manage that.
Hello, we've been licked by a dog. That's interesting.
Yes. We will not go into detail.
No.
We are in our normal wagon and horses pub doing this and that.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice dog.
Very nice dog. Yeah.
Well,
it's unfortunate in a way that the limitation of tickets, because it is such an easy place to get to.
It's not bad, is it?
No, it's 100 fast miles as opposed to like 100 slow miles with Sainsbury's, you know.
Yeah.
Down the motorway, Junction 25, it's just a couple of miles off that.
Yeah, not even that really, is it? It's straight over one set of traffic lights, left at the next one, left of that, and the ground's on your left. You can't really go wrong. It's very, very, very easy to find.
Other than that interesting mini spaghetti junction at the end of the road.
Well, If you go to home base, you've gone too far. Basically.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. But,
no, it's not.
The car park holds 120. But I would imagine that if they want to be sure about segregation, they'll probably segregate the car parking as well. So the 3 other local car parks that they can direct us to, so I'd imagine we get 1 or even 2 of those for our own use.
Now, the club refreshments, you've said here there is a clubhouse inside the stadium. That's irrelevant, because we're not permitted to enter it. It will be dry. We have been told there will be no provision for selling alcohol to Hereford supporters at the segregated end. There may not even be provision for a burger van. Keith and I were talking about this on the way back. The person we spoke to, who we presume was either the club secretary, because I think he might be the club secretary because he could write. It was at the desk, and he was quite officious, but very nice chap, but very firm. He did say we were going to have a beer tent, we were going to have a burger van, but after Didcot we're not. Now, whether that means we're not having both things was unclear. We shall
dangerous
probably
things, burgers,
find.
but,
well, they are really, and also dangerous things not having. I think could be dangerous things not having a beer tent because exactly, because you're you're then laying to open to the people are going to turn up, and you're not going to know how much they've had to drink because they might be full of it before they get there.
Well,
and you know, but it's not our ground, it's not our club, it's not our choice.
No,
exactly.
We can only advise. Okay.
There's plenty of time for both clubs.
Yeah.
to get in touch
Well, the
with
clubhouse don't sell real ales anyway, so
Oh, well, that's all right.
exactly. And their cider isn't from the Shire, so you know, so great loss. Okay, the nearest pub geographically is the Flying House.
Flying House.
I'm sure that's what it said. Flying House, Flying Corners.
Interesting, yeah, Flying House, right?
It's at the opposite end of Wordsworth Drive to where the ground is based. So you just cross the road and just walk, basically.
Right, yeah, not far.
It promises a big outdoor area, which would be okay for
Did
April.
you call and see it? Did you call in? Or was
I didn't, I must admit
right,
it.
okay, no, neither we.
Was keen to go, shall we say.
Yeah.
It's advertised real ale, but won't admit to saying which it is.
To be Doombar then.
Could well be.
Yeah.
What I would say, it does look and feel a bit like an estate local pub, so maybe not ideal. There's a better bet, the Master Thatcher in Lisieux Way.
I'm glad it's the Master Thatcher, not the Margaret Thatcher. I wouldn't go
Well,
in it.
exactly.
Well,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Lisieux Way.
Lisieux Way.
That's
That sounds
very French.
isn't
It is,
Very
Lisieux.
French, yeah. That's only 9 minutes walk.
That's an exact and precise timing,
Yes.
isn't it really? Is it sort of 9 minutes when you're going there, and when you've had a couple, it's 15 minutes walking back?
Google Maps don't take that into account, do they?
Who did this ground guide?
Master Thatcher is mine, so...
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's owned by Palmer's Brewery.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, and it's I'm not familiar with Palmer's, but hey, it's different.
Yeah.
They've got 3 Palmer's Real Ales that all be on offer, and TripAdvisor says the food good, so
That's excellent.
sounds
stuff,
like a good one.
What about the spoons?
Spoons? Well, we always have to mention spoons because people
We
get
do.
upset.
The
don't we?
Bideford spoons was very good, I
I've got to
thought.
say, 30 craft
Because they
beers.
had the apple door in there, didn't they? On draft, very, very nice. Wasn't the strongest. It was 3.2, 3.4, something like that. But lovely.
You've got to try
Lovely
the
taste.
Green Devil IPA at 6% more. Wood.
No, thank you. No.
Well, I didn't have many, but I enjoyed what I had.
Right.
The spoons, yeah. In fact, there's 2,
Yep.
but the nearest is the Perkins Warbeck
Yeah.
in East Street, and that's about 0.6 of a mile. It's a Lloyd's number 1, so it's their upmarket brand.
Right, yeah.
3 regular beers, several rotating guests.
Yeah, especially after you've been in there a week.
Oh Lord, yeah. Well, you know, that's
Yeah.
Somerset, aren't they? So
Yeah.
they're to rotate a bit. Real cider promised, and there's a beer garden. All on offer to discerning tipplers.
Right, okay. We'll look up a dictionary definition
Yeah,
of what a discerning tippler is.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is a
Getting
train
there.
possible?
It is. So, it's about 3 hours by Hereford from Hereford Station. 1 or 2 changes depending on your connection.
Yeah.
But the station is well over a mile, about a 1.5 mile walk from the ground.
But that doesn't matter because there are 5 pubs on the route, apparently.
Well, that's right. There's lots of places to pause for refreshments.
Yes,
on
you
the
want to
way.
allow yourself 3 hours to get there and another 3 hours to get to the ground. If you're stopping at every pub
Exactly,
for 20 minutes on the way. Yeah.
So, that's very doable. And, of course, we've got to mention good old Reg.
Yeah.
His coach is £15. Usual check Hereford away days.
You will need a
You want a
match ticket
Yep.
to travel.
Yep, that's very true.
Because we called in and we got the information, Keith died, but I know the club must have received that now because a Reg has, I put it up on Facebook that we called there, and Reg immediately goes, we'll ask for 1,000, won't we? We'll ask for that. And of course, what he normally does is he will block buy tickets for coast travels, but I don't think he's going to be allowed to do that. I think you'll have to buy a ticket. You'll have to make sure you can get your ticket before you book the coast. Anyway, you could sort that out. There's a little bit of time for this one. What is it? 2.5 weeks away. And it could, by your reckonings, it could be the deciding day.
Yeah, by my sort of thwart logic.
I wouldn't say it's war.
Well, okay. It's sort of off the top of my head.
You reckon we could possibly be in a situation where a point from that game would mathematically do it?
I think we could and should win our 2 home games against Norley and Wantage. I mean, if we don't beat Wantage,
and we've got another 2 home games on top of that.
We have.
So in fact, the 12 points that we
could
mathematically
earn them all at
need at the moment, we could earn them all at home.
That's
If
right.
we could technically lose the 3 away games we've got left and still win the league quite comfortably by winning at home. No, exactly.
I like to think that being unbeaten all season, we could have a right good go, get at least a point at Salisbury.
Yeah.
at the same day Taunton as Evesham,
Exactly.
and they're going to find that really hard.
Well, they are, because Evesham are now fighting to stay in the
they got the mangoes
playoffs.
in their posteriors.
Exactly. So they're going to want that. Taunton. The only thing Taunton will want is second place, because it gives them a great advantage in the playoffs. Well, a significant advantage, because they will play the 5th place team, whereas if they finish 3rd, they play the 4th place team.
Right,
so it's technically easier. Having said that,
it is. Yes.
having said that, it could very well mean that in the playoffs, Taunton are looking at playing Evesham.
Yes.
So there's all these things to.
You're quite right, because the final is played at the club who finished higher.
That's
so if
right.
you're second, you're in the.
That's right.
Yeah,
But in the semi-final, they would play the team that finished the lowest of the qualifiers.
Yeah.
So they would want second. And Evesham. Well, if they can't finish second or third, then it doesn't matter where they finish, as long as they finish in the top 5.
Yeah.
So Evesham at that date, I would think, will still have a lot to play for. What we're going to hope is that Mansfield keep the pressure on Evesham between now and then, because it'll make for a very good and interesting game.
Yeah. We can get a draw at Salisbury and Taunton drop even 2 points at Evesham. We can go to Taunton and a draw will do it.
We're getting very serious now. Yes, but it's that time of the season. We're on the run-in. We've only got one more ground guide to do for Evesham. It's in preparation.
Which is?
It will be with you very soon. We'll wait for some idea of whether it's going to be all tickets, but we're pretty certain it will be. And Simon, just give us a little rib tickler on Evesham, something to look forward to, because I know you visited it only a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yes. Well, I don't know whether you've got the same thing in mind as I have, but they've got a great big notice up at the entrance saying that anybody who uses any kind of bad language will be ejected and banned for life.
Right.
But they don't actually explain what banned language is. I mean, you could fill a book, can't you, trying to define that?
And have they got a load of James Bond modelled cars, with ejector seats? Anyway, Evesham will be our last effort, and that will be with you in the next week or so. And thank you very much for listening. Hope you've enjoyed it. One, possibly 2 more to go. We might end up having to play away in the sort of Division 1 Championship.
They're in such good form.
We'll have to see. We'll wait and see. And we'll speak to you all again soon.
Oh, have a good one.
This is Radio Hereford FC, the home of the Bulls. Match Day Live.